what to do when life just gets too overwhelming. I'm out with my little babies today. There's Lucy. Oh, he was gonna roll. You not gonna roll? He's blind, and he's one of my rescues, I guess you call it, or a foster fail. Anyway, he shines. And everybody has shined. Come on, guys. Okay, this is a hill. Here's an example of what I like to do. Every day they want to go that way. It's a nice trail. But I say, no, girls, we're going to push. These guys are girls. It's a boy. And I say, no, we're going to push. I'll say, we're going to work our glutes today. Because this is a hill. And there's more hills. And that is just a very quick method of incrementally improving your life. You just don't always take the easy way. A lot of times they're very small. I like to call them micro cleanups. Just micros sometimes. Changed my life just picking things up instead of walking right by them, which I used to always do because I was going to do it later, which of course never comes. Anyway, what to do when you are overwhelmed, just so overwhelmed that you don't even know where to start. I was having a conversation last night, and it was a really depressing conversation because I was talking, and sometimes you just feel like everything in your life, especially, I do think it's a thing, as you get older, you see everything so clearly. 2020, see all of it that you should have done differently, could have done differently, opportunities that you could have had, compounded with opportunities that you should have had that other people messed up for you for no real apparent reason. And when this happens over and over and over again, it's a little bit damn depressing by the time you get 60 or less. And sometimes just life just shits on you over and over and over as well. I would hope most of you haven't had to experience this, but I'm sure there are some people, and also it's all relative. I've found that you might think that you're really having a dive time and always have, and then you talk to somebody else and find out that your problems aren't really that bad. And it is true, your mind is a menu, and always try to look to the brighter side. It's so much better for your health. I know it's so cliche, but it's probably the best advice you can choose. And it's hard. It is an exercise in will to do that. Take it from me, I have spent a good number of my years ruminating on crap. But when I decide, when I go for my walks, this is a good example, I was so traumatized for years. I would just cry and yell and talk to myself, and it was horrid. It was horrid because I had to process it all. But at some point, it was much, much more productive to talk about how I can change things, how I can make them better, look for a solution to one problem. And usually I would find one. And a lot of times, I call it a big step up, a double tap. Sometimes I'd find something that would just revolutionize my life. Like right now, I'm walking with all the dogs. One time, I had to take them all separately, the 3 on leash, the other 2 would come with me, because I didn't think they'd all walk together, and I had never done it. I had never had this many dogs. And one day just decided, actually I didn't just decide, I was helping, rescue a small dog that was being mistreated, and I had an opportunity to have it at my house whenever I could manage to get her. And I couldn't leave her by herself. She'd get really upset, so I ended up taking her with the rest. And I realized that I could do this with all of them. And what used to happen is I would take them, it wasn't fun or relaxing, it was very, very stressful. I'd have to go as fast as I could because the ones that were left at the house would just be barking and upset the whole time. So it wasn't fun. It was just like a try to get this one done as fast as I can so I can get to the next one. Now, none of them are being stressed out. I'm not being stressed out. We just all go enjoy our walk, and walk time is cut. I will say fitness level probably down a little bit, but it's just made a world of difference. And also now I'm able to take them twice, which has also made a world of difference. This is where we could talk a little bit about discipline. This dog here is a dog that I got. He was covered in crap, scared to death, traumatized so badly that it would take me 45 minutes to grab hold of his harness, which I could never take off of him. He'd be running around my kitchen in circles at 100 miles an hour. And I would just sit there and try to calm him and be calm. And at some point he'd slow down enough that I could catch him without traumatizing him further, put his leash on. The first time I ever saw real progress with him was when he paused for a microsecond. With these traumatized dogs, you have to take their progress on a micro level. And that's what I did. And I saw him just pause for a split second when I took his harness, put his leash on, and it just built from there to the point now he'll let me hug him. He comes to me to get, he runs, he loves going for his walks, and he runs out in the kitchen with the rest of them to get his harness on. So that's just a little side note on how things can improve, and I think it's also good on the topic of complete overwhelm. Trauma is complete overwhelm, where there seems to be absolutely no safe place to go, no relief. And when everything is such a mess that absolutely everything needs more care than you can give it, or that you are getting from sources that you should be able to count on, that's what you have to look for. Micro progress. I do that 15 minutes at a time. Here's what you do. It's a long process because it takes a while. You pick one area that's the most important one to you. For me, it was clutter. I had a major problem with clutter. And so I had one room that we now use for the dogs in the summer because it's nice and cool and they can have access to the yard at the back. I had help. My son put it together, pretty much all of it. And so yes, having some support can mean the world, but you can still do it yourself if you have to. But do it 15 minutes at a time. What you do is set your timer. You get a dopamine hit that will keep you going and keep you happy for the whole day because you'll feel like you have accomplished something. And just go to it, but try to pick one area. If you do too many areas, you won't see any progress in anything. You get a dopamine hit when you actually make some progress that day, and you can do more than 15. Set that as your target because that's doable. A lot of times I would set for 15 and then I would go longer. Or on a day when I had lots of time, if I had a day off and didn't have anything I had to do, I could set a 1 or 2 hour time pocket for it, which was great. Absolutely mind and life changing. So that's my answer, and it's not a quick fix. It'll take a long time. It'll be a lot of frustration at first. You won't see much progress, and you'll feel like you're working your ass off and you're not getting anywhere, but you are. I had a room that we now use for the dog room that was so cluttered that we could, it's got an outside exit, and that's what we were using. And literally we'd have to all like kind of squeeze by because I had so much crap in it. It was filthy. My foster cats had pooped in some plants and dirt I had in there because I garden, and that was my planting table that I never knew was there. Ruined part of the floor. It was filthy and disgusting. I didn't even know it was there because I hadn't cleaned in there for so long because that was on the back burner of things that had to wait, and that's what else is going to happen. You're going to have 10 priorities. You have to choose one, and just, somebody called them mild annoyances. You'll just have to go with the mild annoyances. Okay, we're going to go back. This is what we do. We come here. Come here, guys. We're going to go just around one more little round down the other trail. Come on. and up around that way. They don't care. It's a beautiful, beautiful warm morning today. They said you have to let go of the mild annoyances. And this is so true. There's a decorative log my son left out for me because he knows I'm trying to do decorative. I have birdhouses that are built quite a bit like that. That's awesome. Small miracles. That's what else you have to build on. Let the joy come in wherever you can. If you've been traumatized, you won't feel it for a very, very long time. It was years for me. Years. I noticed I was having an improvement because I wasn't walking around crying anymore. I like ruined my face. My face has so many bags in it now, and it's getting better because I cried my eyes out for about a year, and every day, most of the day, and that is a whole other topic. Clearly, I don't think that's particularly normal, no matter what has happened, but that's for another day. Right now, you can categorize. Say you have 10 things like that. Like, clearly, a mess like that is a priority that I have to get done. And it really became a priority when we decided to use that for the dog room. My son volunteered to help me with it. I had to get that room clean, so it became a top priority. Up until then, it had been something that could slide while I worked on the other part of the house. And once it became a priority, I had to classify, unknowingly at that time, the other things into a mild annoyance in my head. Lots of times I've spent, when I should have been working on projects, I've spent working on these mild annoyances, like the small things. Doing, I like to call it puttering. I'll just go around and pick up things. Come on, Mish, we're going this way. This is the other trail. You're a smart girl. They're so smart. I would have walked right by it. And just let it go. We've got to let it go. This is my arm. Oopsie. I'm trying to do this quickly. Let it go. I can't get it to focus because I can't get it close. I'll just show you another time. I put that on there because you have to be able to let some things go. You just have to. And so pick something, let the others become smaller. I took DBT therapy, and it was one of the best things I did. It involves a lot of pictures, and you'll notice, because I'm going to be doing this on my channel, thinking in pictures. Used to do it all the time. I love it. And it had a lot of that kind of stuff. And one thing that really helped me was to imagine the way we're going to go this way, guys. We're going to go to the back. Was to imagine, Mummy's busy talking, so we're going to stretch this out a little bit longer. Say, imagine a big ball that is the other person, and you are a little ball. That's how I used to think of myself going through life because of my childhood. The best, most healthy way is to think of yourself as equal. But in this situation, think of your priority as the big ball and the other ones as a little ball. Just keep that in your head. Funny enough, it's something that sticks. For me anyway, you can use whatever you want, whatever works for you, to keep those other items minimized in your mindset and in your head, to keep the chatter and the stress down. The more silent, which is why I guess meditation is a thing, the more silent you can make your head, the healthier you will be, and the easier everything will come, because then you can choose what's in there and there's more space for it. So, again, sorry, I know that when I talk I'm a little disjointed. I realize this. You can get a million gold nuggets out of one conversation because I go around, and what I need to do is listen and then expound upon some things that I write. What have you got on your head, Casey? What's that? Oh, he's got a snail on his head. How they're filming. They're like children. Look what my son did. How did he do that? I need to ask. This used to be a tree that was down. I have no idea. How the heck? I know it was down. Maybe it flipped up on him. That's what I was a little concerned about, him even cutting that tree. But you know, he's a go-getter, so that'll be the first one he does. Isn't this lovely? It is the beginning of November. Most time things are frozen around here. This is spring. This is what happens in spring. We're having a spring day. A lovely spring day today. Anyway, main takeaway. I will write a main takeaway note. Okay. In the notes below. Can you stand still so I can get the snail off you? If my hand's full, he probably won't stand still. Might. Don't want to touch it. Hey, Stacey. There. I don't know if I touched it or not. Okay. Sorry. Main takeaway is, oh, there's the rest of the tree right there. Pick one thing. Do 15 minutes a day on it. Make it your thing. If you're feeling stressed and you're not like rushing out the door to go somewhere, you can do it right then. I used to get instant relief. I have been on anti-anxiety medication. It didn't really work for me, but I can't say I didn't get any relief from it, but for the most part, I wouldn't do it. I went off of it and am happy to stay that way personally, not making any judgments whatsoever, or advising whatsoever. You got to do what you got to do and talk to your doctor and use your own brain. That's important. But that worked better than any pill I ever took. I was feeling I had acute anxiety, really to the point I had to go to the doctor because I was having heart palpitations, and that was the one thing that really fixed it for me, and that I could do and would give me immediate relief. Pick one area, 15 minutes a day minimum. You can do more, but don't push it. One 15-minute session is okay. One 5-minute session is okay. If that's all you got that day, that's fine. If you miss a couple of days here and there because you've got a really busy schedule, that's fine. Just don't let it happen regularly. I'm going to say you get 2 passes a week. If you can do 5 minutes, 5 days a week, it will improve your mindset and reduce your anxiety. I would almost 100% guarantee it. And you'll find you like it so much that you'll pick it up. You'll want to do it. And after a little bit of time, you will find your life running smoothly. This was a big reason that I had to do it, because my life was, I had to work a lot to make up for a bunch of money. And the dogs, and I have ducks, I have chickens, I have cats. It's like chores, and night and day, and I couldn't get out of the house in the morning to get anywhere. I was losing like an hour a day at least of work, and more, because there were shifts that I couldn't even take because I was so overwhelmed and exhausted and frustrated. And so over time, that was my actual goal, was to get to the point that I could go to work without having high anxiety because I wanted to stay home and clean my house or take care of other things. I still have, and I don't want this to sound like I'm gonna actually do this. There's lots of really cool things here that you're kind of getting the long shot on. It's what I like about being able to video my walks, because I love the scenery back here, and it's very, very soothing. I could actually, maybe I will make a video that you can just use and play on your TV of me just walking through with the dogs and not talking. Might put some music on, might not. Maybe I'll make 2. And my mind is so full of ideas, and I'm so frustrated right now because I want to work on my stuff that I am feeling very high anxiety about, because I basically went off track in my life for about 8 years. Two really bad relationships, a job that just isn't good for me and is not lucrative. I lost money, because of bad decisions and because I didn't do things I should have done because I just wasn't present. I was too busy dealing with all of this stuff. And so now at 60, I am like probably lots of others, got lots of regrets. I'm wishing I had done this, or if only I had done that. If only I had spent my time working on that instead of that, or even a week. I have very often put really important things aside because of letting small things annoy me and having my priorities wrong, or just thinking I had to get some of this stuff done before I could function. And if I had just, opted out for 1 week and just took care of it, I'd be sitting in such a good position right now. And I just didn't do it. And I made lots of bad decisions, lots of bad choices, things I did, things I didn't do. That's normal. But you can start where you are. That's the best thing to do. It's the only thing you can do. And you have to just let the rest go. And I struggle with it. I struggle with it daily. On big things, on little things, on things I've even done just recently. And I'm like, man, what did I do that for? Uh-oh. But anyway, I guess I'll let you go. I think that's all I wanted to say. So today we're talking about when life completely overwhelms you and how to reduce stress. I have got my stress down to a level that I don't have high anxiety panic attacks inside of my body anymore. I had them for years, almost all the time. And if they weren't going all the time, it would take me like I was always one little thought away from being triggered into one. Just that like little tinge in your solar plexus, as if it was getting zapped by a battery or something, and it's not pleasant. Not a pleasant feeling at all. That was along with all the mental anguish and everything else. And I can say now, I can get anxious about something, have an anxious thought, but it doesn't physically come into my body anymore. That's such a huge improvement. And that is because I've been working on it very hard, just getting my house cleared up, getting my things taken care of. There was so much, and I've worked on it steadily, as much as I can. I'm a bit of a go-getter, but you'll find also you get more energy. And as your life gets smoother and more functional, you'll get more things done. So, on that note, on that positive note, because let's face it, it can be pretty damn depressing sometimes. And if you can, especially in particular if you've got a dog, if you live near a trail, you should get out into it. I have lived in cities that had absolutely stunningly beautiful trails, and there's some that are by lakes. I learned to rollerblade when I was 54, I believe, and I loved it, and it kept me in the best shape of my life. That was when I lived down near a trail that had a paved trail right by the lake. I love the ocean, and to me that was my ocean. I would go there again in a minute if I could, and maybe I will. At least make some trips down there. So, anyway, I'm going to sign off. I'm rambling now. And have a wonderful, there goes Lily the Wiz. Have a wonderful day. You got to get out of her way when she comes. Oh, there's Baggy. Oh, look at his ear. Okay, have a great day. This is Janny Be Free from JannyBeFree.com.